So this is my 258 1981 CJ7, all that fun background. I got the head off on the last episode, and I was thinking I would start pulling the crankshaft and the caps off, piston caps, but I realized that if I'm banging around, I wasn't able to get the lifters out. I don't want them falling out everywhere, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the camshaft out and then punch through each of the lifters so I can at least get those out so they're not loose, and then probably take care of a couple things like the oil filter pump. I will probably replace it. I might probably will keep the pickup tube, just clean it up a little bit. I'll give a close-up of that. And the dipstick tube, I can go ahead and pound that out from underneath a little bit. Like I said, I may have mentioned it before that I don't want to mar up the tube, and so I think pounding it out from the bottom side will be a little easier. Anyway, so I think the camshaft will just slide right out. I don't think it's being held in place in the back. So we're gonna see if we can't pull this out. Well, if I can get it out of there. Oh, there we go. I think I just needed a little. I think this will just slide right out of there. Try to be real careful. I don't know what I'm going to do with the camshaft, if I'm keeping it or what's going on with that. So I'm just going to try to be real careful pulling it out. Just kind of coming out there. Yeah, there's nothing. I wondered about that. There's really nothing on the back end that's really holding it in. It just kind of sits there on the back, right next to one of the core plugs in the back. It's got quite a bit of, looks like wear here in the front. I can't really feel it though. And then some of there's where the distributor rides on there, the gear. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna have to, definitely needs to be cleaned up. There's the rear. Actually, I sanded that down a hair when I replaced the rear main seal. There was a tiny bit of a mark on it, but this thing definitely needs to be cleaned up, but I don't know if it's looking too bad or not. There's some wear there, but that is the fuel pump, where the fuel pump arm goes. I think I saw that, and I did a little part of the video of that, but I don't know, I can't really feel any ridges here where the main cam bearings go. So we'll go ahead and put this to the side. All right, now I can see the bottom of the lifters in here, and I should be able to just poke those right out one at a time. I wonder if I can push them through with the push rod. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Let's take a look at this first one first. Oh yeah, that's why it's not poking out the other end. It's got a lot of carbon buildup on it. Yeah, no wonder why I was having trouble pulling them through. There's some cupping on there. I'll probably get a straight edge, but there's a little bit of if I can get a light behind this thing. Yeah, I'm probably going to get new lifters, so I don't know. I'll go ahead and pull these out. I'm not going to spend too much time messing with them. So I got my egg crate here. I'm just going to pull these out one at a time. I'm going to keep them in order. Just not use without too much trouble. Yep. This may be the best way to do it here. There we go. Yeah, they're all carboned up pretty well. It doesn't look like there's much wear though on the bottom. That seems to be pretty clean. I don't see any wear marks. Alright, got them all out. All in order and everything. And they're all pretty much exactly the same. They all got that carbon on the back. Pretty clean looking bottoms there right across along the camshaft. Do a little bit of a close up here. Kind of see there's each of the lifter holes. Go in there. Oil pump. Yep, that worked out pretty well. Just push them through the other end. I'm gonna go ahead and do the oil dipstick here. You see it just kind of pulling through here. I think if I just kind of tap that out, I'll pull out the dipstick itself and then just kind of tap that with something soft so I don't mar it up, and it should just punch right through. So we're gonna give that a shot next. All right, I'm not quite sure what happened to it, but I videotaped pulling out the dipstick tube here, so I'm just gonna put it in real quickly just to show that briefly. So essentially it worked out great. It was in there, and I just used, like I said, I didn't want to use pliers or anything to yank this thing out in case I crimped it or something like that from the outside. So from the inside, I just took a piece of wood like this and just gave it a couple of taps with a hammer, and it popped right out. And so just to show what that looks like, I'll clean this up, I'm gonna use it, but there's this little ridge right here. This just goes and gets seated right down. So you just basically just tap it in the same way I pulled it out from the outside, and it just gets down, just tap it into where it goes down to there, and that should be the correct height for the dipstick that you're using. Again, assuming if your current dipstick is sort of positioned and with the tube, and also the length of it is appropriate for engine. But yeah, it was super simple. So next we're going to take off the oil pump. I think it's just a couple of bolts here. Looks like we got a 1/2-inch socket. Alright, this is coming right off. Alright, it looks about to be about an inch, inch and a quarter, somewhere in there. I think this one's a little bit longer. Yep. There we go. This should come right off. Yep. Little nozzle goes right in there, and there we go. There's where the distributor end goes right in there. So this is kind of nasty. Probably clean up the pickup tube and probably replace the oil pump while I'm in here. I think that's probably the smart thing to do. So that's it for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and in the next episode, go ahead and pull the rest of the bottom end out. Pull all the bearing caps off, pull out the pistons, take a look at the rings, take a look at the cylinder walls, and all that stuff. Then after that, that should be pretty much it for the whole teardown. Then it's off to the machine shop, and then back with all the new parts that I'm going to need and go ahead and put it back together. So there may be a little gap between when I go to the machine shop and get back, but you know, I'm going to keep videoing some of the episodes, so just subscribe if you're interested in following along for the rest of the teardown and rebuild.